I rose before the rooster could crow. The moonlight shining through my window's sheer mint blinds. The light chimes of the trams and the moving of early risers can be heard through my slightly open windows as their cars pass by my apartment. I glance over at my clock, sitting on the cream nightstand. My eternal alarm has me up at the crack of dawn after a restless night of sleep yet again. My new sleeping schedule that I can't seem to shake. Sundays to Fridays, I twist and turn throughout the night, half asleep, begging the sleep gods to please let me float away into the realms where dreams exist. I desperately need 8 hours of La La Land to cope through my day, yet I do not get an ounce of sleep or dreams, making me a miserable woman before the world gets a chance to see me. I threw a quick mini tantrum, throwing my hands, kicking my legs wildly, lips pouting out, and a semi-scream, quiet enough not to wake my neighbors. Throwing my legs onto the floor, sliding my feet into my brown bunny house slippers, and standing, I grabbed my robe off my lounge chair nearby, dragging my feet to the bathroom. There is no need to lay there, as if sleep is a chance for me. My mouth twists and turns at the sight of the dark marks under my eyes, as I get lost in my plump orbs, trying my hardest to speak to my soul, searching for the questions to figure out who am I. Staring at my reflection in anything these days, whether it's water, a mirror, or the glass of my favorite fashion boutique, kills me more than anyone could ever know. I often feel like a stranger to myself. I spend 24 hours up in that mind of mine, doing nothing that could benefit me. No soul searching, just running away. I am the new runaway bride, without the white veil and matching gown and horse or lover. I've stood at 100 altars and never said I do. Well, to myself that is. I'll admit, I'm a runaway, and I can't help it. I run whenever life gets too hard, dreaming of faraway lands. I've somehow, when my soul was floating through the heavens, decided to choose the three traits: an empath, a daydreamer, and a hopeless romantic with a mature mind that never agrees with either of the three. That sends me down a black hole. It suffocates me like the heat on a nice summer afternoon. At the same time, cuddling me like the stars cover the sky. I become Atlas, carrying my heaven upon my shoulders, tiptoeing between two worlds, but sometimes I run. I run towards the world that sets me free. I run towards the one place where my heart and mind become one, where troubles don't exist. I'll admit, I'm just a runaway. Oh, and I am most certainly Maggie Carpenter, trying 5 different types of eggs, questioning, do I really like this, or have I been lying to myself? I guess those are the consequences of spending your lifetime becoming someone you are not. Well, not a lifetime, because I'm only 22 years of age, but enough of my life to feel like I'm suffering too much. Too much suffering equals running away. I stand over the sink in my kitchen, pouring water into my teapot, moving across my tiny cooking box, and settling the kettle onto its connector on the counter opposite the sink. Standing on my tippy toes, hands held above my head, I search for the chosen mug for the day, settling upon the powder pink, plopping my peppermint tea bag inside, and wrapping the string around the handle. My hips leaning against the counter, my head facing forward to look at the box cutout in the wall where the sink sits, concentrating on the view outside my living room windows. Dark skies and dim yellow streetlights can be seen in a mountain-like wave. I have a love-hate relationship with this new sleeping schedule of mine. I hate to lose out on a good sleep, on the chance to spend 8 hours floating away through La La Land. But I love the silence that I am surrounded by at 4 in the morning. It's as if only a few souls are awake, and the world feels a lot less bigger to me. It is small, intimate, and much more homey. In a weird way, I crave these moments, the silence that engulfs me, It has a way of making me feel as if I'm far away, with no troubles or thoughts of confusion. For the first few hours before rush hour begins, and the world awakens from the slumber, it's the only glimpse of peace that I get. It is the only time in the past years when my thoughts are quiet, and I am merely just soaking in the inhales and exhales of being alive, whilst the skies begin to change around me. The sun rises to greet me, wishing farewell to the moon. Grabbing the hissing kettle and tilting it just enough for the water to flow into my mug, I open the light purple ceramic panda bear that holds my sugars, spooning out the 3 scoops into my cup before walking to have a seat at the mini table in the far corner of my dining/living room. My coral journal sits awaiting me at the table in the same spot every morning, alongside my wide variety of colorful markers, sticky tabs, and pens. I have this strange way of journaling that I created back when I was in high school, when my feelings became too much to bear, and I had a lack of words to help me describe them. I began creating characters to help me navigate all these deep feelings in a world where many can't begin to understand the immensity of having an overly feeling heart and mind that tries to justify every feeling. And sometimes these feelings just can't be justified. I can't explain why, when the world says they're numb to life, they feel absolutely nothing. Yet my numbness is the complete opposite. I am drowning in seas of achy emptiness that I can feel in my bones. I can feel my heart frown, its heaviness pulling me down to sit in the pit of my stomach. It's like I feel everything, all the experiences and emotions that the world has to offer. I feel them as if I am them, and my poor mind tries to make sense of everything, and I often cannot. They're reminders that no matter how overbearing it can sometimes be to feel everything so greatly, I am not alone in it, because the world rotates on such deep meanings, such greater emotions. They're reminders that no matter how overbearing it can sometimes be to feel everything so greatly, I am not alone in it, because the world rotates on such deep meanings, such greater emotions. I flip through to a blank page with my left hand, powder pink mug in my right, sipping from it recently yet slowly, thinking of who I feel like today. Placing my cup down on the right side of me, I grabbed my pencil and began drawing away Iluna. My pale skin, red-headed, chestnut, childlike-eyed winter. I always imagined her as the opposite of what winter truly is, not gloomy and depressing, but bright and full of hope. As dreamy as the first snow that touches the ground, covering towns in sheets of white, yet to turn a muddy gray. She's the glow in Lorelai Gilmore's eyes when she gives out, "I smell snow." And the nostalgia that exists in the seasonal routine of laughing and heartwarming feeling that sits in our hearts after watching the same holiday movie roll call that we watched the last winter and the winter before that. She's caroling, bows, cherry reds and greens, and icy blues, slow days, hot cocos, books by the fireplace, PJs, and fluffy house shoes. Iluna is a girl's favorite daydream, the epitome of romancing life. She's who I need the most at the moment. I got lost in the shuffle and bustle of life. I tried so hard to adapt to the expectations of what everyone wanted me to be. The expectations of being 20-something, of the real world. I tried. I honestly did. But some souls are meant to follow in the lines of everyone else. Some of us die a slow death, trying to force ourselves into modes that were never made for us. And I was sinking a slow death in quicksand as I pretended to be the person the world deemed fit. I never dreamed in a million years I would have been a college student. And trust me, it is an honor. From being held behind in elementary school, because my brain doesn't function like everyone else, to working harder than ever to be where I am today. surpassing what everyone thought I couldn't, sitting in meeting rooms with people confused about how far I made it, based on the paperwork sitting in their hands. My success shouldn't be possible, but it is. I proved that it is. I proved to myself that I could make it this far, and I did. But college was never what I wanted for myself. There was never a degree that I could see benefiting me. No life that exists in those long lists to choose from made me jump with excitement. I fell into the trap of doing what mostly all the kids I grew up with were doing, going off to college so you can get your big girl job. I thought that all my childish dreams would fade away, and I would fall into place like everyone else around me. Instead, the childish dreams were the only thing that stayed haunting me like nightmares, while I faded away into thin air. It is bad enough that I have lived in the same small town all of my life, surrounded by reminders of myself everywhere I go, tormenting me like a ghost that refuses to leave its beloved home. I've grown envious of memories, old photographs, and journals. I've turned into a hermit, fading away from everything that used to be me, that no longer resonates with this version of myself. I glance up at the shifting colors of the morning sky, the sun trying its hardest to peek through, taking a sip of my warm tea before grabbing the pencil and scribbling lost and found in messy cursive. I spent a year in a gloomy funk that I desperately try to shake off. No fake it till you make it smile has been able to save me and my funky mood. It is a time for change, for something to spark my soul back to life. Enough is enough, Ilaeda. Right beside Iluna's head, in my bulky coral journal, I promised myself that no matter what, I will be found. Found in flower shops or gardens, found at farmers markets or coffee shops. In the meals I prepare or the songs that I love, to be found in the books I read and the clothing I wear. My goal this year is to find myself all over, in little places, big places, in little everyday things, in my childish dreams, or the places I run away to when my ship begins to fill up too quickly with water. There might not be any wedding bells, veils, white gowns, horses, or lovers, but this is definitely a till death do us part moment. The altar, my journal, as I sign my commitment to me, myself, and I. In a silent breath, I wish I do.